Welcome back, guys. And today we're going to be talking about the World Cup, the most popular event currently happening on the world stage to entertain the average football fan. Firstly, we'll talk
Yeah.
about, yeah, yeah. Firstly, we'll talk about the opening ceremony. And for me, we both didn't watch it, but a lot of symbolism in that show, for sure. A lot of eclipse, black sun symbolism, perhaps showing that Morgan Freeman, that character, is perhaps saying some truths about some portals and other things that could be going on with this World Cup. And it's just funnily enough how the World Cup in general, if you look at it, right, it spans for 28 days, which is a match to how long the moon orbits the Earth for, once every 28 days, if that's right. And
Yeah.
the moon is so symbolic because it has the eight analemma shape, and of course the eight is everywhere with the World Cup, and of course the areas surrounding that, like Elon Musk now it's looking to say for Twitter for people to pay $8. Earth just reaching 8 billion people supposedly. Obviously the eight being the infinity, so it's the rebirth and Ouroboros. And look, just to finish off my segment, this whole World Cup is all about rebirth, and the birth of what? For me, it's the birth of the new world that's about to come.
I
So, Ralph,
completely agree. I completely agree. And I think it's heavily tied to the Great Reset that's coming. Sorry for being
yes,
so enthusiastic, but there was a
no
connection that
problem.
I made. It's probably going to go quite deep with the notes I made, but yeah, eight is so heavily symbolized in this World Cup. You've got the eight. The symbol of this World Cup is the eight, um, and there's the serpent at the top, like biting the two together, like the Ouroboros, which we talked about in a previous podcast, where it's like the cycle of life and being reborn into this cycle. And obviously, like you say, the moon follows the what's it called? The
Yeah,
eight
Nalima. Yeah,
analemma. That's it. The technical name. But yeah, there's even more eight symbolism. Even down to the song, the World Cup song for this year is Lil Baby and Tears for Fears. It's called something about Make the World Yours or something like that. I can't remember the actual name of it. But Lil Baby actually released 8 versions of that song as well, like different remixes and stuff. So there's 8 versions there. Um, yeah, eight is just everywhere, and obviously, like eight is the infinity symbol put on its side. Here's another thing: Takeoff recently died, who was a member of the Migos. He got shot, and prior to his death, like the week before he died, him and his uncle Quavo, who's like a member of the Migos, released an album called To Infinity Links. On the album cover, there's the back of the album cover. There's the eight, and like obviously eight is the infinity.
yeah,
His name's Takeoff, like take off to where? Where's he going? But yeah, there's the eight link there. One of my favorite artists called JID released an album called The Forever Story, and on the back of that album cover there was the eight symbolism with the infinity sign. So like yeah, eight is obviously just the infinity sign turned on its side, but it is everywhere in this World Cup. It just shows up all the time. So it's like, what are they trying to say to us? Are they trying to say that this is the cycle? Is this a new birth into the cycle? Are we at the crossing point where we change over? Who knows?
yeah. That's a great point there. And to continue on with Takeoff, I think a day before he died, actually, there was in space. Of course, it's not real, but NASA or SpaceX, I think they launched Artemis, this craft, to the moon. And
Mm.
what's interesting enough, that Artemis is a particular character in Greek mythology, and the moon is very symbolic, as that we talked already, is the shape of the World Cup. And it's in an Islamic country which has the crescent moon. If you see in the top of the mosques, there's the crescent moon, so it's also moon worship. And
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy because, like, in English numerology, the word Qatar is 57, the word moon is 57, the word birth is 57, and of course you have England too. In the word England is 57.
yeah,
And just to continue on with 57s, it's quite crazy because elsewhere on the world stage you have the current Prime Minister of England, Sunak. He's the 57th PM. And of course, what do you have next year? Next year is Super Bowl 57, which is in the town of Phoenix. And of course, we know what the Phoenix is. It's all about death and rebirth. So all this birth symbolism with the World Cup just, for me, solidifies that a new world is coming in the
Yeah.
age that we're in.
It's not just strictly rebirth, is it either? There's a lot of talk of portals and things like that.
Yeah.
Say with the mascot, what's his first? Labib, is it? I believe.
Laib, I think. Yeah.
Lahib, that's it. But he's depicted in all these promotional videos as some spirit from another dimension, and he always talks about, "Oh, I'm from another dimension," and we are a link between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. And I think there's a lot of link between traveling through portals, like you saw with the advert. I don't know if anyone saw the Nike advert for the new World Cup, but it's essentially it depicts these scientists coming together and being like, we need to have a matchup between Mbappe and Ronaldinho in their prime. So they get a large hadron collider like they have at CERN, and they smash together some particles, and it creates a portal, and it brings these two people out. It brings Mbappe and Ronaldinho out at the same time, and then they keep doing it, and they have like different areas of different players and stuff, and they all come together. But it's through portals. They're coming together through portals. Yeah, and then like Labib. I keep forgetting his name. The mascot is heavily associated with like the portal tech and traveling through into another reality. And he even talks about saying like, we are Bigfoot, we are Loch Ness. So they are different manifestations of the same being, like an extraterrestrial. And it's really strange that they use this particular sort of mascot, because it doesn't seem to have any relation to football whatsoever. Like, how does dimensional travel and spirit entities have any relation to the World Cup in football? And obviously as well, you've got in a lot of promotional material, there's always monoliths and things depicted around Qatar. Now we know that monoliths do represent some sort of dimensional travel and journey into the void and coming through onto the other side. And yeah, it's like the film 2001: A Space Odyssey. Obviously, you have the I don't know if you've seen it. The astronauts travel out to a monolith, Jupiter, and it sends them through a portal, and they come out, and there's obviously the big giant space baby. Is that a representation of the rebirth? Is that what it's trying to tell us? Like the baby symbolizes this grand restart, great reset of whatever is about to come. Whether that's a metaphorical thing or it is just an actual, like, something's going to happen, there's going to be a big cataclysm, or you never know. But yeah, there's just so much symbolism surrounding portals. Also, interestingly, the game Portal came out in 2007. It came out on the 10th of October 2007, which is if you type it out, it looks like 101. Obviously, we know that 101 is like a representation of the Masonic pillars and portals and passing through whatever goes through the center. And I do have some more things that relate to that, but I'll speak about them later. But yeah, also the mascot for the World Cup talks about how it doesn't talk about, but it's shown how when how does he get the job for being the mascot for the World Cup. It's depicted as the reason he gets it is because he can create portals and travel through them. And he states that, it's very dangerous to use portal technology, but he can still do it. So yeah, there's a lot of talk of portals and things.
Yeah, for sure. And you wonder, why is this portal stuff coming out on the World Cup? Well, these higher ups, they use football as a tool to fuel their agenda for what's coming on. It's like, the same in movies. They put the truth in plain sight, but it's used for people to be entertained, while really then they're pushing out what they really do. It's a distraction, really. So, like, that's the case with the portal symbolism. It perhaps shows that, there's many theories surrounding Project Bluebeam, that aliens are going to come over and all that stuff. Me personally, I've never had that belief that that will happen. But the more I look into it, the more I see, information surrounding the World Cup and what you mentioned about Laib, the more likely that perhaps that could happen. Don't know. Where was I?
I genuinely can't remember now.
Yeah, I think I was on about Project Bluebeam and
Yeah,
aliens
yeah, you
coming.
were. Yeah. Project
Yeah,
Bluebeam.
so just to explain further, I was never a believer in aliens and all of that, but the more you look into it, the more likely that this could happen, and it's what forms the new world order in particular.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't genuinely think that it is actually aliens, though. I think it's interdimensional travelers, possibly.
Yeah,
And I think the way they're going to go about it is to create things in the sky that project, like traditionally perceived aliens, like what we think of as aliens in movies and things like that. So it'll basically just be technology that's used to fire against their own people, and it'll be disguised as aliens. And then that'll bring around a revolution for people to be like, oh, we need a one world government to come together to stop this, to stop the aliens. And then obviously that's the establishment of the new world order and the Great Reset. And yeah, genuinely, it's a big prediction from people to be making that 2022 is the arrival of aliens. It could still happen, very much still could happen. We've still got a month left. I can't realistically see it happen. Fucking hell, I can't speak. Realistically, see it happening so soon, but I mean, it is possible that it could occur.
I mean, we've only 33 days left. You don't know, man. But
33. Wow.
yeah. Yeah, but see, I don't think it'll happen this year. Next year, maybe, but maybe there'll be
I
something
think
on
we've
the
been
wall.
set up for it.
Yeah. But just predictive programming with the Tomorrow War, where they'll open a portal during the World Cup. So that could still happen, but again, I'd say it's unlikely. Well, that was out.
That's the thing in the Tomorrow War where it shows like a portal opening in the World Cup, and then everyone stops and they're like, "Oh my god, that could potentially happen." Well, you've got the connection between the World Cup and portals there. It's like, how predictive is that programming, and how realistic is it? Is it just metaphorical that they're both talking about portals? So you never know. You'd have to wait and see, obviously, till the World Cup final.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So that perhaps is the telling point of the World Cup now. I think you want to get into the football itself, and of course, you have England to win the World Cup. So, would you like to explain your findings of why you think that could be the case?
Yeah, the biggest reason I have England to win the World Cup at the minute is obviously I always have my suspicions with the Queen dying this year.
Yeah.
I feel like she could be possibly a huge ritual sacrifice to give the energy needed for England to win the World Cup. I still think that's very much true. With the relation, obviously, between Queen and Qatar, they both start with the letter Q. And let's just have a look at the findings, because I do a lot. And I think the main reason I landed on England to win it was primarily because of the first goal scored by Jude Bellingham. That just rang so, it just sparked something in me. I was like, that's weird that he'd score, because he's number 22, obviously. And this year's World Cup is the 2022 World Cup. He scores the first goal, Jude Bellingham. Another thing I noticed from his, like, these are just simple decodes that I've made, but a lot of them create like weird connections between one another, and they seem to stand very prominently, and it all seems to revolve around like Jude Bellingham and the Queen. So from Jude Bellingham's birthday in June, it was born on the 26th of March 2003, to the date of the World Cup game where he scored against Iran. It's 1,012 weeks and 1 day, which is the same as the day representation of 11/21. It's just written out differently, so it's like the same date as he scored on. The amount of time between his date of birth and the game that was played. 22 appears at the 135th digit of pi, and he scored in the 35th minute of the game. We obviously understand the symbolism of the one in front of the number, which suggests like the power of that number. Also, scoring in the 35th minute could be a link to sunglasses and how the reality that we live in isn't real. Obviously, you have that connection between films like They Live and Free Guy, where you put on the sunglasses and you can see the truth, you can see the Matrix for what it is. Also, another weird synchronicity I made is that you're from Birmingham, and so is Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
I feel like you should have spotted this before me. He also joined Birmingham City in the under 8s, so you've got that link to 8 again. That 8 popped up, and also I thought of the song by the Beatles, "Hey Jude." If you look at the lyrics to that song, there's a few lyrics in there that's it. Obviously, I don't genuinely think it was written about Jude Bellingham, but Jude Bellingham is this prospect, is this guy who could be like a really great footballer in the future, is a young talent. If you look at the lyrics of "Hey Jude," it seems to be talking to someone, trying to encourage them to just keep pursuing and not to let the pressure get to them. It's almost like it's speaking to him to just keep pushing forward and like try and become the best version of himself. It's like nurturing him, if in a sense. If you look at the lyrics, that'd take a while to fully explain. But if you have a look through the lyrics of "Hey Jude" and just apply it to Jude Bellingham, there's sort of this weird. It's like it's sort of talking to him in a sense, and just like Also, it was released in 1968, which is a very significant year. You have things like
What year?
MLK, 1968.
Oh.
Which a lot of people argued that is like the birth of this like New World Order sort of idea, bringing about a great reset in the near future. Is also the year like MLK was assassinated and the Civil Rights Act was instated. It was also on Christmas Eve of that year. Apollo 8 was the first manned spacecraft to orbit the moon, which is very interesting because it's Apollo 8, obviously, and it's the heavy connections to the moon, like traveling around the moon. We've already spoke about the moon and the 28-day cycle of the moon. The date of the 21st of November is the day leaving 30 days in the year. And Jude is a day leaving 40 days in the year, sorry, and Jude equals 40 in English ordinal. Here's another relation to the Queen. The Queen died on the 8th of September, like 8. Obviously, you've got the 8 there again. She became Queen, the Queen of England, of the Commonwealth, on 6th of February. Obviously, would be around 6-2. And from the Queen's death to the World Cup final is 101 days. So you have the relation back to the portals and obviously the sonic pillars. 101 is also the 26th prime. God equals 26 in English ordinal. That time span is also 3 months and 10 days, like 3.1, like pi. You've got a pi connection there. And then to come back to the portal idea, I thought of throwing CERN into the Gematrinator and see how it came out, how it decoded. And CERN equals 40 as well, like Jude equals 40. Portals also equals 101 in English ordinal. It's quite interesting. So you've got the 101 connection there again. I think there's just a lot surrounding the Queen and this first game. I'm not sure if it's just particularly linked to being a ritual for the Queen, just this first game, or if it is a tie to the whole competition. Like I said earlier, the Portal's the game that was released like almost 15 years ago now, released on the 10th of October, which is like 101 when spelled out. Another thing I decoded as well is that Jude equals 16 and Laib, the mascot of the World Cup, also equals 16 in Chaldean, which is interesting. There's a nice little connection there between Jude and Laib. So it's like, what is going on with this name Jude? I think the name Jude is quite significant in this situation. And I think he's a significant character in this World Cup, and we'll see more from him as things roll on. I can make that claim now, like that prediction. Also, I decided to link it to tarot somewhat, and 16 is the tower card. If you encompass, if you put the Fool as the 0 point in tarot spread, and that is interpreted as danger, crisis, destruction, and liberation, and unforeseen change. So obviously, is that a link to the Great Reset? Is this the sign that something's going to happen? And are we going to see a Great Reset? Are we going to see something come from this? Are we going to see the recycling, the 8, the Ouroboros coming together, like the new cycle? Also the Queen, just Queen in Chaldean equals 22, like world. I just think there's a heavy connection between the Queen and this World Cup. I genuinely think there could be some relation there.
Yeah, it's so possible. I think England, many people in the Decoding the World have England to win based on the Queen, the seed that had died. They think that could perhaps be the turning point as to why England could win. But like in hindsight, you could argue when you look at the players in the pitch that they don't have much of a chance. But these games
I genuinely don't think that's the case. I really think we have a really strong outfit this time.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially the same team as in the Euros, except they're more experienced now. They've had a few more years to play together. Do you know what I mean? So I think they're clicking a lot more than they were. Also, just one more thing to note: the World Cup song that was released. Obviously, as I said, there was 8 versions, like the 8 of Qatar. Also, the song released on the 23rd of September of this year, and Jude Bellingham was born on the 29th of March, so it's like a reversal of the 2 dates.
Okay.
There's a slight connection there. I just think Jude Bellingham scoring the first goal for England has massive significance. I think I'd have to dig deeper into that, but that's what I've got so far.
Yeah, there's got to be a deeper meaning behind that, but as for me, I don't think England have a chance, but they'll definitely go through. I mean, they play Wales tonight, so they should beat them, but I know Germany.
We'll have to see, won't we? Do you want to put money on it?
No, I don't bet. But yeah, for sure. I think Germany win. I know they've not started well. They've not even won a game, but I think Germany winning perhaps signifies rebirth because they did really bad in 2018, and I think if you look back at the Europa League, Frankfurt winning. I mean, they've not won a trophy in 40 odd years, and they somehow win. I feel like as well, you touched on with the Ouroboros, the snake. The German coach was born in the year of the snake, so I thought that was a good connection there. And also, it would be 8 years since they last won the World Cup, and of course, all the 8s surrounding now, I feel like could perhaps be that point where they may win. But they have to show something because currently, when you watch them, it doesn't seem like they have a chance.
No,
it's a strange
they might not even make it out of the group at this rate. I don't think.
They play Costa Rica, so I mean they gotta beat them surely.
I mean, they lost against Japan. We'll have to see.
Yeah, but these games are predetermined anyway. It doesn't matter if they win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, no, I completely see what you're saying, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. Oh no, because even if who's playing who? If Spain win, they're on 7 points. Which should leave them on 3. Yeah. To be fair, they could make it out. They just need a victory against England. They need Spain to beat Japan, but you never know. There could be an upset Japan. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, Costa Rica only had 1 shot on target and he went in. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like FIFA rules. That's how I compare it. If you ever play a FIFA game online, you'll find yourself absolutely destroying a guy. He'll have 30 shots on target. He'll have 1, and he'll beat you 1-0. It seems like that match was fixed. I assume probably the same occurs in real life. That these games are fixed to go with one or the other.
Yeah, both man and supernatural.
Yeah.
Like I feel like referees can consciously, predetermine these games through the VAR decisions that are made.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like there's been a lot of dodgy VAR decisions, I think, this tournament already.
Yeah, but
And it's sorry, go on. What are you saying?
yeah, but it's all energy harvesting because initially the fans they celebrate that they scored, and then when it's ruled out, they get dejected at the end. So all one big energy
Ooh.
harvest.
Is that a theory? That's a good theory, that.
What energy harvest?
No, they've like installed VAR as a increased energy harvesting system, where you get more energy from the fans having an experience where they go up and then go down and then go back up, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's more true than myth because it's all emotions. That's how fans feel when they watch games.
Yeah.
I still have it myself sometimes, but not too much.
Yeah. It's always interesting as well that the like you said, the shape of the stadiums. One of the shapes of the stadiums looks like a vagina, which is quite interesting to link to like rebirth, death, and rebirth. And is this like energy portal to like bring us through? And like it just all feels like a ritual focused on rebirth, and obviously rebirth is associated with the womb. What is also influenced by the moon is women's menstrual cycles, which have the tie to the moon there as well. Is something going on in your room, or is that?
Yeah, but it shouldn't. There's no issue with that.
Say again?
Yeah, but it's no problem.
All right, okay, that's fine. I could just hear someone slapping something in the background. I was like, what's going on there?
Yeah, but whatever. What else do you have?
Let's have a look. Hang on. Oh, I also think it's really interesting as well that Saka and Rashford scored after missing being the ones that missed the penalties in the Euros final. Obviously, Sancho wasn't there, so he couldn't score a goal. But I bet that if he was there, he would have scored.
Definitely.
But I think Saka scoring 2 goals was to make up for the fact that Sancho wasn't there. It was obviously a heavy link to the number 3 as well. Who said that Rashford scored with his third touch of the goal, third touch of the ball.
Yeah,
it's quite interesting. And obviously, there's like 3 of them. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense to be fair because obviously they had to get rewarded for missing the penalties in the Euro final, but against Iran that's not a huge benefit because England should expect to beat Iran.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say that, but then Iran beat Wales, so
yeah. But
like Iran aren't on paper a bad team. I think they've won a few games that like it seemed like they should have lost, like against. I think they beat Uruguay before.
Did they?
The World Cup, just before the World Cup, they beat Uruguay.
Yeah.
So they have got a decent outfit. I definitely think they have the ability to win these games. But yeah, it's just about like the fact that England are just too good of a team, and they're definitely going to go on to win the World Cup. So
I don't know, man. England. Like, if you're the average football fan, you think England have no chance. Southgate being a manager has not won anything, but don't matter. It's all so scripted, eh? So
yeah, I've just made another connection. Sorry,
okay.
It's just come to me in my mind. Obviously, 2 people that scored goals were both in Birmingham. You have Jude Bellingham, you have Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
What's Birmingham famous for?
What do you mean?
Like what? All right, what's the shopping centre called?
Okay. Oh yeah, the bull ring.
Yeah. So you see the connection to Taurus and the Taurus fields, and the bull, Taurus the bull. I'm not sure if Taurus has obviously like the Taurus fields. I believe the spell an 8, so similar to the 8.
Yeah, the Taurus field.
Yeah, and doesn't. I'm not sure if it's true, but the bull ring in Birmingham, is it an 8?
I
From
don't know
above.
actually. You can check.
Obviously, you have the connection. Let's have a look.
Is it?
Bird's eye. I'm gonna have a look now. See what I can see.
Oh, from a bird's eye view. I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Let's have a look. I'm just having a look at if it is. Oh, it's not an 8. It's not an 8.
Oh,
but obviously, you see the connection between the bull, the Taurus, the bull, and the two people being scoring the goals.
And also Birmingham. They had the Commonwealth Games, didn't they, in the summer? So
yeah, that's another connection there. Forgot about that.
Yeah,
wow,
the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
So I feel like that city is up to be revamped, and perhaps it explains why Grealish and Bellingham scored the first and last goals.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that actually.
No, that connection's just come to me now. Hang on, I'm trying to find. Where's my fucking gematria? Did I get rid of it? This is the problem with having so many tabs open. There's just so much going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously that's similar to your full connection with the Chicago Bulls and PSG winning the Champions League.
Yeah, for sure.
Update. Ooh, guess what? Taurus equals in Chaldean.
22.
Yep.
Nice one.
That's an interesting connection.
Yeah. What does that mean? Does that mean that whoever's winning is... What does that mean regarding the World Cup? Is it related to... I mean, of course, Taurus being Venus, and like we said, there's this particular stadium called the Khalifa International Stadium. If you look on the centre circle, it looks exactly like the shape of a vagina, which, a woman and Venus representing love and all that. So is that perhaps representing...
That's where they played, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where they played, I think. The Khalifa International Stadium.
There's also quite an interesting connection there with the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, the tallest stadium.
The tallest building.
Stadium, sorry.
Is that connection to the Babylonian Tower of the Bible? Have they tried to build that to connect to the gods, which is the bull?
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Possibly. There's so many connections. I feel like you could just decode this World Cup for hours on end. There's just so much to look into. Did you see the thing with the song for the World Cup, like the opening song?
No, I didn't see it.
The song that was performed.
Who performed the song?
It was Jungkook.
Jungkook.
I'm not sure who he is, but there's a lot of talk of portals and opening up and things during the song. It's like the lyric. If you look at the lyrics, it's similar to how Hey Jude talks about, like Jude Bellingham. There's talks of if you look on the Twitter thread, you'll find it there.
Yeah. Okay.
And there seems to be quite a lot of relation to Project Bluebeam.
Yeah. Like you said before.
The lyrics in the song, look up like Galileo, wait up, everybody, light the sky, shout if you're with me.
Oh, I've seen that. Oh, yeah, I saw that actually.
It seems to be like, telling people to look up like look up into the sky. What do you see in the sky? Is something
Yeah,
coming through a wormhole?
that's funny you
Like
said
Morgan
that.
Freeman was in a film
Yeah,
through the wormhole.
yeah.
Yeah,
Funny enough you
it's
said.
also interesting that. Sorry,
Go
go
on.
on.
Yeah, it's funny enough you say that.
I,
Look
I,
up in the sky, because you sent me something about in China some red sky, and that was crazy. That was.
yeah, yeah. No, it's weird that, and that also seems to be a phenomenon that occurs like a lot in China.
Yeah. Obviously, we know China was the place for the C-19 and all of that jazz. So it seems like the higher ups use that country for starting perhaps psychological operations.
Yeah, it's like that is the testing ground for the New World Order potentially, like the Great Reset. If you look at China, that's most likely what they want to do with the rest of the world. That is just a
Yeah, I mean,
petri
it would
dish.
make
That is
sense.
the science
Yeah,
experiment.
it would make sense, right, to start with the country with the biggest population.
Yeah, exactly.
See how they react.
It's been bred into them for so, but it's been bred into them for so long that they don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Possibly.
That's just a natural part of life for them.
Yeah.
Um, also, as well, quick connection between the eight as well. China hosted the 2008 Olympics in Beijing.
Yeah.
So there's a connection to the eight there. I think what you
Yeah,
need to deduce is like what is the eight saying? Is it
2008 was interesting because that was obviously the financial crash happening and the recession,
yeah,
and we're looking to enter into another recession on the world stage.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like when everything was essentially starting again. People had to work from the ground up, and we're obviously going through a recession now. So history repeats itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, copy and pasted reality.
Yeah. Trying to find if I can see anything else.
Yeah, it's like even to touch on the rebirth or the staging when that the final is being played at the Lusail Stadium. There's particulars on the roof. It has sacred geometry of the flower of life. Again, life being mentioned again. So again, it just further emphasizes and symbolizes that rebirth is coming. And
Yeah,
the flowers, obviously, the petals, and the petals you have Venus, like we talked earlier with the staging that looked like the vagina, and Venus has its own pentagram, and many people in the decoding world see that as evil, the pentagram, but it's not necessarily that. It's just been infiltrated by the higher ups and certain
yeah,
satanic groups.
yeah. It's
And
just sacred knowledge.
yeah, that's all it is.
Pentagram is 5. Man equals 5 in Chaldean, and obviously you have the thing with Leonardo da Vinci's famous painting that depicts the man. So
Yeah,
that is the pentagram. It is man. It's a representation of man. But then it's funny that that's also a representation of Satanism. Is that
yeah,
because
yeah.
we're all Satanists?
You think so?
Well, on a spiritual level, we've been brought down into this underworld by everyone. So in fact, we're all Satan. I think thinking about it, we are all Jesus and we're all Satan at the same time.
That's an interesting point.
Just because of the rebirth, you have the rebirth story with Jesus.
Yeah,
Jesus was born again, and there's so much symbolization of rebirth in this World Cup.
yeah, and of course you have the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
Talked about.
Also
So,
Jesus. And you saw Gabriel Jesus as well. He's wearing the number 18 for the World Cup. I don't know if you saw that.
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I saw it yesterday during the Brazil.
That's actually funny. That is.
Yeah, number 18.
Yeah, is he a fan of Chaldean numerology? Did he type up his
Must be.
last name? He must be, man.
Must be.
You know, because
I am Jesus.
if he knew that Jesus equals 18, would he have worn that? I don't know.
You never know. It could be
Yeah,
natural. Could be
Yeah,
natural.
well, that's
Oh,
crazy.
that's
That is.
interesting as well. That it was also Jude Bellingham's 18th cap for England.
Yeah, a lot of high hopes for this boy.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. A lot of high hopes, like the song "Hey Jude."
Yeah, but like England, man, nah, they're not winning. If they do win, then fair enough. But like,
I'm betting England will get far in this competition. Have you got anything else for Germany to win it?
um, not much to be fair. I had some astrology connections that perhaps the World Cup's in it's in Sagittarius. It ends in Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter has an orbital period of 12 months. The German coach is the 12th manager. Um, you know, he's born in Pisces, which is the 12th sign, and
Yeah,
perhaps that represents him being the first manager or not to win Germany in their fifth World Cup. I believed that it was connected to cryptocurrency in XRP with the 589 that they talk about in that community where Germany would win their fifth World Cup in the eighth and ninth zodiac signs.
right.
And with that, I thought as well, who's the head of WEF? Of course, Klaus Schwab, and he's obviously German. So I don't know if that's a telling point to say if they're going to win. But yeah, I did have a code for them, but I didn't finish it because I thought, is that enough to suggest Germany are going to win?
Yeah, maybe you just
Because,
need to keep digging, don't you?
yeah, you just got to keep digging, but it's not easy decoding this reality.
It's really not. No. But connections will show themselves the more you pry into them. So like, the more if you find one, it'll lend itself to another, and then you'll be like, oh, I remember that particular decode that I just made.
Yeah,
Here's how it links, vice versa.
yeah, because I presume most decoders would not have decoded Saudi Arabia to beat Argentina. Like,
No,
no. I mean, if the
no,
football world is not going to see Argentina win, then neither is the decoding world going to see that Saudi Arabia was going to win that game.
yeah.
It's like,
I just thought.
well, obviously, go on.
Sorry, no, I just thought of great little decode, but I've completely forgot what it was now. My mind just went between like three different things.
Yeah, but like,
I'm trying to think now. I've completely forgot. My mind's gone blank.
yeah, it's quite
Oh yeah,
interesting.
no, sorry. The sorry, just going to say the World Cup final is on the start of Saturnalia as well.
Yeah, yeah. What's interesting about Saturnalia? I mean, I don't know too much about it. I've not looked into it. I know it's a festival the Romans used to celebrate Saturn, the time
Yeah.
god. So
So
it
yeah,
seems pretty
so Saturnalia was basically just a festival held, which is essentially Christmas now. It's essentially what's been changed to Christmas.
yeah,
It was an ancient Roman tradition. I think it started on the 17th, but it's essentially at the start of Saturnalia is when the end of the World Cup is. It's also on the Pope's birthday, I believe, isn't it?
a day
The
after.
World Cup final. The day after.
Yeah, day after.
So yeah, again, so the Pope's birthday must be on Saturnalia.
Yeah, Saturnalia.
But yeah, it was essentially just a ritual honouring of Saturn, which a lot of people believe is like obviously the people that looked into Saturn believe it's the ruler of this reality. It's like why back then were they worshipping Saturn? Did they have any idea of what it was? Was it
I
the old
think
god
so.
that used to be prominent on this earth? Like surely they didn't have a massive understanding of planets back then. So why would they choose Saturn to worship? Potentially because of its link to the time cube, and there you have the link to the time cube and the infinite loop that was stuck with Saturn's rings.
Yeah, for sure. Like on that day, also the 18th, it's Qatar National Day. I mean, I don't know whether that means anything for whoever wins the World Cup. It could do,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, that's just another thing to point out. But again the 18th, and we said Jesus is 18 in numerology. But, Jesus and Saturnalia, again, it just fits in like you talked about earlier with Jesus and Saturn,
Yeah.
that duality again in this world. And whoever wins this World Cup, I know it's been completely strange, shocks all over the place, but that's just there to entertain the fans because they love
For
an
energy
underdog.
harvest.
Yeah, they love an underdog story. That's
Yeah.
the one thing that
Yeah, and
keeps going.
I'm just going to say, like, having it during Saturnalia and whatever the international Qatar Day could be represented, it could be like just a really strong hotspot for energy harvesting for those particular dates and for like Saturnalia. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Around that time period.
for sure. Like the final is going to be a really, really. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I don't think it's not a normal game, of course. I mean, it's a final, but especially in Saturnalia, because normally finals are in the summer, so this one may be more different than the other 21 World Cups that FIFA have put out on the world stage.
Yeah.
There might be some Saturn symbolism for sure.
Yeah. No, I think genuinely we'll see some popping up every now and then.
Yeah.
I still think England are going to win it.
Well, let's hope for your sake you're right, but if neither England or Germany win, then look,
We look
yeah,
like idiots.
yeah, but I don't think it matters too much. This World Cup has been really hard to decode. Some people say Brazil, some people say Spain. No one really knows. At the end of the day, we all need to have a
No.
go at predicting the reality that we're in, and for sure, we have our picks, we have our connections, but hey, at least one of the big teams are going to win, surely.
You never know. You might pull an upset and have some smaller country in it, like Japan.
Yeah. If Japan wins it, then it's because of the Phoenix, no doubt, because
Yeah.
that country is known as the land of the rising sun.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, the Phoenix being death and rebirth again.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I have Japanese cousins also, so I wouldn't mind if Japan won it.
Yeah. That's nice.
Keep it in the family. Yeah. I know. I was really happy when they beat Germany. I
But
gave
then
up
they lost
all
to
my
Costa
energy for
Rica.
that victory. Yeah, I know. So
You supporting England,
win some,
man?
you lose. No, I'm supporting Japan.
Hey, Japan.
No, I'm joking. Obviously, I'm supporting England.
Yeah, I
Wait,
mean,
supporting England?
yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, of course, England, man. Hopefully, that's why you have England to win, man. You're an England fan.
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's part of me being hopeful, and it's part of me using my decoding mind. But
Yeah, so
I'm not sure.
there's a bit of bias there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely a bit biased.
Yeah,
I'm speaking it into existence.
because like
Manifestation.
I think you said before that England and the Southgate they reached was it the quarters first, then was it this now the semis first, then the final, then now
Yeah, we got to the semis, then the final,
could they get over the line?
and we got to
I
the
mean,
semis last time in 2018.
yeah, you just add another 57 for England. There's 57 years between the birth years of Sir Alf Ramsey, obviously the guy that won the last World Cup for England, and Gareth Southgate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, 57. I'm going to look out for that number.
Yeah, it's been everywhere.
Yeah. Where else has it been? I know you said with the
Yeah,
other stuff as well.
it's just 57 degrees in Fahrenheit is the average temperature of Earth.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
it just seems like I don't know what that number means. Of course, English numerology
There's
is
so much coding to do.
yeah.
It's like
There
it's
is.
like once you start down the rabbit hole just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's a big rabbit hole, man.
Yeah.
In the end, we all don't know. We're trying our best to see how this reality works. And the World Cup, it's been the strangest one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I know the average football fan's probably enjoying all the upsets and seeing the likes of Belgium going to capitulation, losing to Morocco of all teams, and
Yeah.
seeing obviously Germany losing to Japan and Saudi Arabia beating Argentina. What other shock results have there been on this World Cup?
Not sure if there's been many more. I think that's it. There's Germany, Japan, Morocco, Belgium, yeah, Argentina, Saudi Arabia. I think that's it. I don't think there's been many others. Maybe like Iran, Wales, but I don't think that's such an upset, is it?
No. Wales aren't a great side.
Wales
unless they beat England tonight.
Oh, yeah, we'll be holding our tongue. I don't think they will.
Nah. It's just interesting, Wales, they got the dragon in their flag. The dragon has a lot of symbology. But I think the dragon is about to die tonight. They're saying the dragon will be packing home.
Yeah. St. Peter is going to slay the dragon once again.
That's going to be biblical, that is,
Exactly.
In theology, when Michael slays the dragon, is there a Michael in the England squad?
I don't think so.
If there's a player whose middle name's Michael, I wouldn't be surprised if that player scored against Wales to slay the dragon.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, man.
Yeah, 100%. I genuinely think that is symbolic. I think it's some symbol. George, why did I think of St. Peter? I don't know. I was getting mixed up. Yeah, but the English St. George. I believe he slayed a dragon as well.
Oh, did he?
Have a look.
Of course, Michael equals.
Yes, it slays a dragon.
Dragon equals 22. So is Mike. So is Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, which English player is going to slay the Welsh dragon? It's probably going to be Harry Kane. Probably.
Harry Kane.
Probably going to start partying.
He's been the face of all the LGBTQ stuff, controversy for England as well. He's always trying to wear and stuff like that, wearing a watch. I think the politics is a lot heavier than usual in this World Cup as well. I don't think that's an accident. I really think it's to stir something up. I think it's trying to stir some world conflict.
It's a pendulum shift, that politics stuff.
Yeah. English national team. I'm going to see if I can find anyone with the name George or
George.
Michael.
Yeah, he'll take a while for you to find, but keep searching. I feel like England, I don't know, they'll win tonight, but whoever they're getting around the 16, if it's a good enough team, they'll lose, I think. But
yeah,
pretty determined anyway, so
yeah, exactly.
They could get away with it. Yeah, not by us.
Ben White, Joe Gordon, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Connor Cody, Eric Dyer, Calvin Phillips, Nick Pope, Marcus Rashford, John Henderson, Jack Grealish, Kyle Walker. No, there's no one called Michael or George, which is annoying because it'd be really good if some. I mean,
unless they have middle names.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot too further. I could see which English player has George as their middle name. I don't know. Harry Edward Kane. Doing some decoding, man. Yeah. Live decoding. Nah, there's no one.
At all?
Sweet. To be fair, Jacob is a character in the Bible, and that's actually Maguire's name. It's his proper name, Jacob. But whether that means he's going to score. No, I don't think so.
What about Phil Foden? What's his middle name? Walter. Why have they all got such spooky middle names? I thought they'd have like English middle names. Tony. Mason Tony Mount. Reece James. Love Reece James. He's playing amazing.
Nah, there's actually no one. It's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. There'll be something. I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere between the game and that story.
Yeah.
I think just because of that symbolism, we will beat Wales though this time. We beat them in the Euros, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, 2-1. Just about in the 94th minute, Daniel Sturridge.
Really?
I actually watched that game at home because I was ill. So I didn't go to school that day.
Yeah, I remember watching it as well. I was at college at the time, I remember. And then I came home. And then I went to my mate's house to watch it, and it was a right game. It was a class game. One of the best games I've watched. And then we lost against Iceland, I believe, in the round of 16.
Yeah, Iceland, they're not even in the World Cup.
No.
This goes to show you how bad they are. But
that's going to taint our legacy forever.
Unless England win the World Cup.
Same.
Unless they win the World Cup this year.
Yeah, I think they will. 66-22, they're both master numbers. I mean, I don't think 66 is necessarily a master number, but it's still a double strength number. So.
Yeah.
How many years is it between 66 and... It is 66 years, isn't it? No, not 66, sorry.
56.
56, yeah.
Yeah, in a decoding world, that's a big number to them, but I don't know what 56 really means, let's be honest. They'll tie it to secret societies, but what does the secret society have to do with England winning the World Cup?
Yeah. I really think there's only very few, like, strong numbers. The rest of them can just be applied to anything.
I feel like using gematria / numerology to decode the winner of the World Cup is super difficult. Solely using that to decode the winner, I don't think there's a chance that you get the result. For the odd games, yeah, sure, I think that is very doable. Like predicting who's going to win and goal scores, but for an entire tournament, I feel like you really have to go deep into everything that's happened on the world and make the best connections possible for you to decide who the winner is, and then whoever wins the World Cup is perhaps connected to what's come up in the Super Bowl maybe, and what else happens in the world. So complicated, man. But
all sports connected.
Yes, everything's connected in reality.
This is completely unrelated to the actual subject, but on the note of sport, I was listening to a podcast the other day with a guy called Howard Mikoski. I think I sent you
you did.
Material. Did you listen to the podcast?
Yes, I did.
Did you hear about the bit where he was talking about how time's speeding up? Or he had to say that time's speeding up, and to check whether that was the case, he linked it to sports to see if teams were scoring higher, say, 50 years ago than they are now.
Okay, what did he say?
He said that he saw that, like, in baseball games and football games, not like soccer, but like American football games, that teams were scoring like a lot higher than they are today. I don't know if you can pin that on skill and ability back then being less, so it was easier to score, or the fact that time was actually stretched out. I genuinely feel like time is speeding up. I don't know about you. I think it's a trope that often gets said where it's like, oh, time's speeding up. Time seems to get a lot faster as you get older, but it genuinely feels like abnormally fast. To the point where it feels like you just woke up out of bed and then you're going back to sleep.
Yeah, that does feel like that is the case. Obviously, you have that theory of time travel, which is perhaps real, but Going back to football, like you said, with sports, obviously the timing for these games have been prolonged for
Yeah,
some reason. Why is that? I don't know personally. I mean, we could assume it's down to the quote unquote controversial VAR decisions that are made during the games by these corrupt referees, but you know, it is quite strange. But
yeah,
I can't put any reason behind it, me personally. They say that they'll probably make some excuse that it's to stop time wasting, or perhaps it's just another way of energy harvesting.
yeah, yeah. That's most likely. I don't know. It's hard to say. Are they aware of that? Are they wanting to feed the gods? And that's what they're doing, feeding the wolf.
Yeah,
Also, as well, here's some more ammunition for my theory of England winning the World Cup.
what is it? Let's bring
England
it.
last won the World Cup in 1966, which was
Yes,
the eighth FIFA World Cup.
you gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm serious.
Nah, I think I might be finished.
And guess how many venues there were?
8,
Yeah,
and there's 8 stadiums in this World Cup.
yeah. Guess how many goals were scored as well?
8.
No, obviously. Well, yeah, that'd be a bit low. But there were 89 goals scored.
In
Like
that,
the Queen died on 8/9/98, the 8th
I
of
mean,
September.
what are the chances of that happening, mate? This ain't some human doing that. It's all supernatural.
Yeah,
But like that's
but it's,
crazy.
yeah,
Like I've obviously not done enough to suggest Germany win, but you never know. They could still win, and I find something. But there's a reason why I didn't finish that code because I couldn't find enough connections to support my evidence that they were gonna win. I tried my
yeah,
best,
yeah,
but I kind of lost faith. Still have more belief in my PSG one and that they're gonna win the Champions League
yeah,
because I thought that one was abundantly clear
yeah.
rather than my Germany one. But just comparing the two connections we both made for our teams to win, I feel like England is perhaps more likely.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah,
I was see. I'm confused here because it says England. This was the eighth World Cup. Maybe I think they must have taken a load of breaks between. Like World Cups weren't played on a like every 4 years for a while.
yeah.
It's 1930.
Obviously, the World War.
Oh yeah, true. That's very true.
Yeah,
What, they weren't playing football during the World War?
they didn't play the World Cups during the World War.
Yeah, but there was the game on No Man's Land on Christmas. I heard that
Yeah,
story.
England, Germany. I mean, come on.
What a big
Is
yeah,
that
exactly. Oh, there's another connection.
I don't know, but obviously the Euros proved that England had their their match beating the Germans. We'll see if that repeats again in the history in this World Cup. But nah,
I
England
think
they'll
it. I
beat.
think it's good.
If they don't beat Wales, then I don't know what's going on in that
Oh
camp.
yeah, obviously. I think we will win. I think it'll be a tight game though. I think it'll be like a 1-0 or something.
Is that the scoreline you're going for?
I'll say 1-0.
For me, if I decoded this game, I'd probably have an idea what the scores are going to be, but I'm going to have to guess like a football fan would. 2-1 England, just about.
2 in
Might
England.
like
Yeah, that
just
was my other
repeat,
thought. It'll be close.
just repeat the Euros game. You know,
Yeah,
Harry Kane late winner or something. Just add the drama that there is to the World Cup, because you
yeah.
know the higher ups that control football, man, they love the drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Like like every week in the Premier League, you see the same script. You know,
Yeah,
drama every week. You know, once you see it, man, you gotta laugh at it. Man.
yeah,
Like I
yeah.
know this is not talking
Totally
about the
see.
World Cup, but there's one Chelsea game I watched, right? It was against Palace. And then Gallagher came on, who used to play for Palace. And then the commentator was like, you know, is this script going to be written for him to get the winner? Like, obviously,
Yeah,
I already knew at the time that Chelsea were going to win the game because I saw decodes of it. But when Gallagher scored, man, I had to laugh inside, man, because it's just funny. But yeah, man,
But who's
how
scripting
people,
the games? Is it? It's not
yeah,
man, is it? It's not man. It's something supernatural.
it's supernatural. Referees can consciously fix games with, like I said, VAR and all of that. Maybe the players, they're just actors and they're playing their role, but nah, it's too perfect, too perfectly synced. The scorelines as well, when you see that they all match in numerology, it's like, come on now, the players are not sitting there on the Gematrinator typing their names in numerology ciphers so that they could score at this time. That's ridiculous thinking.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm going to score at this time today because
Yeah,
my name equals 21 in Chaldean.
silly thinking. But
Yeah, very silly thinking.
yeah,
Well, we'll have to see what happens today, will we?
yeah. I believe the game's at half
And the rest of
six.
the tournament.
Yeah.
7. It's in an hour. I'm going to my friends to watch it.
Oh, you're not playing football today?
No one wanted to play because of the game, so which makes sense.
That's a shame. But yeah, I'll probably watch it as well, just with my laptop beside me and, just looking over my shoulder just to see what's happening. But yeah, England, they should do the job, and if they
Oh, are
don't,
you going to
then
be doing uni work?
yeah, I'll have to. I'll probably get distracted with the football. So yeah, but yeah, I'll be doing some uni work aside the game. Nearly finished with it, so should get it done when it's half time. Just spend the 15 minutes typing everything. So no problem with me.
Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get through it. It'll probably be a boring game anyway.
Yeah, he'll probably Southgate will probably play he changed it. He changed the team today for the US, didn't he?
Yeah.
Changing
No, he
midfield.
kept it the same. He kept it the same.
Did he?
Yeah. He just swapped it midway through.
Oh, yeah, because England, they only had one shot against the on target. And like if it was real, England would beat the US, but we know it's not real. This ain't a real reality.
No. It's
But
a false reality.
how can you only have one shot against a country that calls it soccer?
It's called soccer. It's called soccer.
The fans, they chant USA, man. I mean, come on now.
USA. USA. Come on, score the goals, get a touchdown.
Yeah, any Americans watching, like
Fuck
I don't know
you.
what's got. I mean, obviously, if you guys beat Iran, maybe you could go through as well as us, but like,
well, I think it's funny that they're playing Iran as well.
Why?
Because of the invading of the Middle East.
Oh, are they? Oh, yeah, it's perfectly set up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
A tense game. It's like a rivalry. It's like a derby.
Because they've had the two countries have had history, haven't they, politically?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, another agenda in that game, of course.
Yeah, there's always a political agenda behind football.
Yeah, even though people say, "Oh, don't mix politics with football," but it's always existed within football.
Yeah,
even
you've just got to separate.
Go on.
I was just going to say you've got to separate yourself from like the political message and just focus on the football. I think more than anything, I think that's what I tend to do.
Football fans would try their best to do that, but they're too busy being distracted by the LGBT stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, that's all a pendulum shift.
Yeah, that's going to shift back the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Times are ticking.
Yeah.
TikTok, like a what's it called? Not the time. I have completely forgotten the name.
Hourglass.
Hourglass. Yeah, exactly. An hourglass is shaped like an 8.
Yeah.
Times are ticking. Time's coming the other way. It's flipped over.
Yeah. For those that use TikTok, TikTok for you.
Yeah, TikTok. You're wasting your life staring at a screen.
Yeah, watching some random teenage girl dancing. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing, you degenerate? As Hamza would say, get up,
Yeah.
do some push-ups, pussy, stop being a Jeffrey.
Yeah, like, we don't want this to become a social media run, but like, it's one of the worst apps in all of app development. What kind of human being sits there for an hour, 3 hours sitting there and scrolling on TikTok?
It's
What
so
kind
easy to do, though. I remember I downloaded it once during lockdown when lockdown first happened because my friend told me to download it. And literally one night I was like, oh, I'll just check TikTok. And I was up for 2 hours watching it. I didn't even realize it had been 2 hours. It felt like 5 minutes, but it'd been 2 hours.
Well, you're just watching nonsense.
Yeah, literally nonsense, just bullshit videos. And then after that, I was like, I'm deleting this app.
Yeah,
It's
so pointless.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised they didn't have a say in the World Cup.
Yeah, probably did on some level,
Yeah.
some financial level. Also, I have a theory. I have a slight theory. Obviously, it's like time seems to shift. You know the old saying, "Time flies when you're having fun."
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's actually fun necessarily. I think it's more dopamine. I don't know if, obviously, like to link back to TikTok and things like porn, when you're engaging in those sort of degenerate activities, it seems like time flies by really fast.
Yes.
At least by your own perceptions, anyway. I feel like a good method for traveling through time per se would be to blast someone with obscene amounts of dopamine. I'm not sure if that's an experimentation that could have happened before. That could also be a reason for why people are feeling like time's speeding up so much, is because we've got so much overstimulation.
Yeah.
So everything just flies by. But I genuinely
friends.
think dopamine could be a pathway to time travel, at least on a mental level.
Absolutely. It's like even when you watch football, first half is so quick, and the second half kind of delays. It's like it's the same time span, but it's like
Perceptions.
perceptions. Football in itself is all Saturn worship. Like I could do a decode of the whole sport in general, but going back to the World Cup, I mean, you have England and I have Germany. If the teams face off during the World Cup, I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna have to do, man. I'm gonna have to put a clip on the podcast. If whoever wins, I might just, might have to do a challenge or something.
Yeah. I might have to make a decode in Twitter and start posting my findings on that. I think like you've already done that, so
Yeah, that'd
still
be
really
good.
want my friends from college and stuff seeing what I'm doing. They're like, what the fuck's this guy doing?
Why not?
Because they'll think I'm weird.
Yeah, but your friends really. If they don't understand it, they don't understand it. Like I know my mates won't understand this, so why should I bother telling them about it? Because the occult is no game. You ain't only certain people are chosen for, not chosen, but only certain people get given this knowledge. It's not for everybody, so they say you're weird, no problem.
Yeah, very true. Right,
Like, ultimately,
sorry.
Yeah, like ultimately,
Oh,
you can make a prediction and they can't because you have this knowledge.
Yeah, true. I'm just being a pussy, really.
Yeah,
But I think I'd rather keep it in like that certain realm where I can have like two opposing personalities. Because
yeah, for sure.
It's just me just messing about.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Genuine.
Yeah, just keep it within that community, the decoding world,
exactly.
with like-minded people. Because if you spread it to people that don't know it, like you said, they're gonna think you're crazy and this and that, and you don't want that.
Yeah, once you start building the community, it grows.
Yeah.
So, on that note as well, we need to start building a Discord community. So, if anyone has made it this far in the podcast, if they would like to opt in to join, we haven't started Discord community. I'm just saying, like, if that's a good idea that people would consider joining, then I think we're going to consider setting it up when we get the fan base established.
Absolutely, man. I feel like because with like-minded individuals, you wanna build a community of people that understand this and want to grow and become even better than they are. And I feel like as well with the World Cup and the communities, that's what football brings, right? Even though it's
Yeah,
so scripted, like this community that could be built could be so good. And yeah, as this grows, because it will grow,
yeah,
that will come soon. And yeah, man, I can't wait for that to get started.
yeah. I agree. Right, but I'm gonna have to get off anyway because I need to
Watch the
travel to
game.
my friends. Yeah, I'm off to watch it in Leeds, so I
Ah,
need to be over there
okay,
like half-hour drive.
fair enough. Yeah,
So
kind of wish I had my headphones today, but they don't work, so that's why you
oh,
could
fine.
hear them.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is going on in the background? It's like someone was just like banging something. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't
I'll
keep my
see if
train
I
of
can
thought.
edit. I'll see if I can edit that out if it's possible.
Yeah, yeah,
But like, it shouldn't matter regardless. But hey, it is what
no.
it is. Some things you can't control, and you know. Yeah, guys, have you got anything? Oh yeah, you said you're gonna go. So, any final
Yeah.
words?
No, I'm just going to say England are going to win the World Cup. That's all.
My friends, final words for me. If you're German, just know you're gonna win the World Cup for the fifth time. And
Ah,
if they don't, you can come at me in the comments, or you know, because I feel like I need to get a prediction wrong sometimes. And anytime I make a prediction, it works. So it's like I'm
yeah.
getting all this luck, and like not to boost my ego, but I don't seem to get things wrong when making predictions. So if I get one wrong, it doesn't matter. And yeah,
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
yeah,
Just
we'll have
under
to
a
wait and
month.
see. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe on the 18th, if either our countries win, I'll just post a clip on YouTube just to see,
Yeah, no,
like
class.
one of us win.
England are
And
winning.
England.
Yeah.
Okay then. I'd like England to win, to be fair, but you
Yeah.
know, I gotta stick to what I predicted, so I can't change my mind, even though they've not won a game. I
Well,
mean, if they're
I
out,
think
if
we'll
they're
get a
out,
better idea after tonight. We'll see how well England play.
yeah. If Germany get out, if Germany don't get out the group, man, yeah, I can't lie. I've made myself into a fool.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it from me and Rowan, and we'll see you guys. Actually, we're having a break, so I will
Yeah.
still be uploading content, but in terms of this discussion, we'll resume next year from January. So yeah, Rowan, you're going on holiday, aren't you? You're relaxing.
Yeah, I'm going to Egypt, so I think the topic we're going to cover after the holiday is uh, Egypt, ancient Egypt, the mystery of the
Yes,
pyramids and stuff like that. So
seeing the pyramids, aren't you, lad?
I am.
Nice one. You going with friends or family?
No, it's my family.
Just family.
Yeah,
That's a nice occasion.
I know. Can't wait.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm here stuck in cold England throughout the winter. As they say, winter's coming, and winter's just in another 3 days. So
Yeah,
I got gloves, so I'm prepared. But I
you'll
lost
be
my
okay.
hat a couple of days ago, so I need to find something there just so I don't have cold ears. Yes. Yeah, I've rambled enough in this outro. Let's just end it there. Right, guys.
All right.
Thanks for watching, and see you guys next year.